it clear to you, brother, see the finish line. I visualize realities I wanted, then invented mine. It ain't how you start, it's how you finish, word to the scrimmage line. Luckily my hustle is my passion, this shit intertwined. I can pop a yerba, I don't need it though, I'm energized.
Welcome back to the Hustleaholics podcast with your host, Mike Anderson.
And your boy, Mike Poglies. My bad, my headphones was connecting and we kind of went out there, but we good.
It's all good. We're back at it. And today, we are going to jam on a topic that has really resonated over the course of the past few weeks for us over here. You know, this shit ain't all glitter and glam, y'all.
No, it really ain't.
You know, you experience these times where you got to understand that you can only control what you can control.
Yep, there's going to be things that come up. You know, I'm looking at these pictures of El Cantil. Shout out El Cantil in Cozumel, Mexico. God damn, it looks beautiful. But wishing I could be there, but instead, you know, me and Mike have to sit on phone calls with the CPA trying to figure out tax shit and all these dumbass shit. But at the end of the day, you can only fucking control what you can control. And that's a big thing, like, for real. You know, like, at the end of the day, there's all kinds of things that come up, you know, in our day-to-day lives, you know, not even like lives, you know, business wise, but just overall, like, you know, the gym might be closed, things like that, you know, things that like obstruct our path to the goal, you know what I'm saying? And you know, at the end of the day, there's so many different ways that you can just fucking let the situations just ruin you, you know? Like, for example, one big topic like taxes, like me and Mike been trying to figure this out for a little bit, just because, like, you know, we're young fucking business owners. Like, you know, we don't fucking keep track of our numbers the best way. Like, in the back of our heads, it all makes sense. But, you know, when a CPA looks at it, he's like, whoa, what the fuck is this? You know, but at the end of the day, you know, we can only really control what we can control. You know, like, we didn't do the best job keeping track of it then, but moving forward, you know, we know what that we have to do better with it. And like, we might take some L's this year because of it, but, you know, it is what it is, you know, like, at the end of the day, we'll make more money, and, you know, we've done it before. So it's not like it's the end of the fucking world, you know?
Yeah.
But there's all kinds of those fucking situations, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And that's the thing is, like, reality is like, I think what enhances that to a whole new level of, like, you can only control what you can control is when it comes to financials, because I think, like, men in business specifically shy away from dealing with anything that's financial that is going to require, like, some annoyance, right? Like taxes and all that bullshit. It's like, men in business fucking love to spin up some cash and fucking make money, but then when it comes time to pay it back, it's like, fuck this. And, like, I'm speaking as a man in business who is, like, really fucking bad with that concept. And, like, I think this is something that we can even jam on in general with, like, other situations too. Like, Mike and I had, like, a pretty bad investment a few months ago that went pretty far south for us and, like, fucked our credits, and we had a couple things that we had to kind of, like, you know, climb back up the ladder on, if you will. And, like, it is what it fucking is, dude. And, like, there's a lot of times where, for a long time, actually, for a few weeks, I was literally being like that type of dude that was like, yeah, fuck that shit. I'm just not going to deal with it. And I'm just going to focus on my day-to-day shit, focus on my hard work, you know, like, focus on what I got to do to make the business explode. And then I'll just push that shit aside. And in reality, it's like, it takes a man to sit and be like, this has to be fucking addressed, you know? And just like we're saying, like, you can only control what you can control. So if it's something that's outside of what you can control, then you just have to address it and let it be, you know?
Yeah, no, 100%. And that's the thing is, you know, addressing it, like, literally you'll feel like that release of, like, that like self guilt that you've been holding, you know, like that negative energy that you've been holding inside of yourself because of it. Like, I was actually talking about this, you know, with Mike, like, not too long ago, similar situation about, you know, something bad that was just kind of sitting heavy in the back of my head. But at the same time, you know, like it was just kind of like it had come to a point where I could fix the situation. It wasn't the best like way that I wanted to fix it, but there was closure to the incident. And so like that's a big thing is like, you know, like that this is one of those situations, you know, like I keep bringing up tax things because we just got off the fucking phone with our CPA, but you know, this is one of those situations where it's like, um you know, like the only thing we can do is address it, and like by addressing it, it's bringing closure to that situation, because we know moving forward like we're going to be in a better position tax wise, you know, like we're going to know that we're doing the right thing, you know, we're being efficient, you know. So
100%.
that's a big thing with that comes along with addressing shit too.
And to tie that even into business, like you can only control what you can control when it comes to your clients, you know, like you're going to run into circumstances where clients aren't fit for your service and you don't figure it out until you get into the mix of things. Like you're going to run into situations where clients don't respect the work that you're putting in. They don't understand the value. And like, dude, you're doing your shit. You're doing the shit that you have to do. But at the end of the day, you know, there's only so much you can do with certain types of people. And you have to realize that you can only control what you can control. So if you're in business right now and you're allowing like your clients to dictate your level of like happiness in what you do, because it's like, this dude's just a pain in the ass. This dude is always blowing me up, especially if you're a business that has somebody on like a monthly recurring and they're constantly nagging you and bringing down your energy. Like cut that relationship off ASAP and like keep it moving, dude. Cause like that's the big thing is like you run into clients all the time who can be a head case, and people who, you know, can just be a pain in the ass, and people who don't understand the offer that they bought. Like there's all types of situations you can get into with business, and you have to understand how to like identify those situations and like and just how to act with them, you know. Like you can't control it. You can't control how somebody, especially in the coaching space, like to address like what we've transitioned into with our business, like in the coaching consulting space, you can only control what you can control. You have the information, you can give people all the you can walk people to the water, but you can't have them drink it. You know, like you can walk them to the water, but they have to drink the fucking water. You know, like that's what it comes down to is like people will have all the tools necessary in order to do what they have to do, but they will find a way to spin that around and say that they can't, you know? And that's why I think it's really important to address like limiting beliefs in your sales process, like understanding when somebody is a certain way about when they're going to have some sort of like limiting belief around the offer, like address those up front, because man, people will come into systems, have everything that they need, and you can walk them to the water, but you know, you can't drink the water for them. So it is what it is. And like, you just have to allow yourself to be like, listen, I'm controlling what I can control. I'm showing up, I'm doing what I have to do. And if that person is too much of a fucking headache to keep within your sphere of influence, then like, you got to cut that off and keep it moving.
Yeah. Yeah, no, 100%. And that's the thing is like, you know, just like you touched on at the end there is it's not always just like, you know, business related. Like it can always be like, you know, personal, like relationship, you know, friendship, whatever you want to call it, you know, like those types of those types of situations that you got to address within your life as well. But yeah, dude, that's a huge thing, man. You know, there's one thing that Jesse Itzler talks about that's kind of related to this, and it's related to like having like a quote unquote like 12 out of 10 year. And you know, he says, you know, fuck 10 out of 10 years, you know, like let's have a 12 out of 10, you know. So one of the things that he mentions about this is like addressing those things that are holding you back, you know, like those things that are sitting in the back of your mind, you know, whether it be like a credit situation, taxes, you know, some sort of debt that you're not paying off, or, you know, you owe somebody sort of money, whatever it might be, you know, you did somebody some sort of wrong and it's holding like that karmic debt, you know? And what he says is like, just pick one of those things and address it per year, you know, like don't do anything fucking crazy. Like those things are huge fucking tasks to address, you know? So like just pick one of them, you know, move the needle forward with that incident and work to accomplish that in 1 year, you know? So that's definitely a huge thing, you know, like being able to address those situations that are holding you back and take action on them is definitely you know, something that takes a lot of like internal like work to be able to do, you know.
For sure. Yeah, and that's the thing is like, you know, they're just draining your energy at the end of the day. And like when you have something like a debt that you're just like not addressing, or if you're just like Mike said, there's certain situations that are shitty situations and you're just deciding to run away from them instead of address them, that's like clogging your path, you know? Like it's almost like taking a fucking roadblock and just sticking it right on the fucking path that you're walking and being like, yeah, you can come this far, you know, like no further. And that's the thing is like, once you address those things, there's a whole lot of weight that's lifted from you. And you're like, fuck, dude, like that was holding me back and I didn't even realize it. So a lot of it is just about reflection to understand that like, you might not think something like that is holding you back, but in reality it is, because it's just all about energy. And if like you have this energy that's weighing you down and it's making you feel like you can like an elastic band, you can fucking expand and have a fucking huge month. And then you just boom, snap right back to the fucking, to the beginning. Like the reason why that's happening is because you're not dealing with those old situations in order to open up that pathway. So instead of like that elastic being stuck to a rock, it can fucking fly, you know, like it can just keep going. So
yeah, no, and that's one big like analogy that I always like to think about referring to like energy is like, you know, think of it as like your gas tank in your car. You know, like you only have so much fucking energy in your fuel tank that you can use, and there's certain ways that you can replenish that energy. And obviously, like, you know, we can't just pull up to the fucking gas station and repump the thing, you know, but there are like other ways that you can like, you know, like fudge it, you know, like the oxygen, like IV things, you know, there's all different kinds of fucking things that people say, you know, but overall, like the number one thing that's always going to gain it back is sleep. So you got to think about what you can handle in a 24-hour time period. And there's not a lot, you know, like there's not a lot of shit that you can allow to take your energy away from what you're trying to accomplish in that time period. Like you'll be surprised, like if you really think about how distracted you get by little things, you know, in a 24-hour time period and where that energy is going. But yeah, fire topic right there.
Oh yeah. Handle your shit.
Boom, boom.
Control what you can control. We out.
In the pandemic, hey, I know what I want, I got the tunnel vision. Double up and flip it, start another business. Meditate daily or else I get to tripping. Cause rapping is easy, but staying humble isn't.